Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Well, hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Partnerships for Profit. I'm your host, Peter Conrad, and I'm joined today by Demetrio Rico, the founder of Stafy, a workforce solutions company focused on helping businesses scale efficiently through strategic staffing, operational support, and remote talent integration. Demetrio, thanks so much for coming on with us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a beautiful Monday morning here in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, actually.
Yeah. Baseball season's kicking off, right? Real quick.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Sure. So my name is Demetrio Rico, like you said. I've been most of my life working in the telecommunications technology background. Started my own phone company back in 1999 and started with telecommunications as kind of the beginning of my career, and stayed in that software business space for a long time. And it was only around 10 years ago, that we decided to do professional services, primarily for law firms. So today we have over 400 law firms as our clients. We provide dedicated staff for them. We actually have three services. We provide dedicated staff. We have outsourcing for their incoming and outbound calls. So we take care of that, still kind of part of my telecommunication background. And then thirdly, we do case outsourcing. So they give us the work and we do the whole thing beginning to end and give them back a completed file. And they love that. But all the solutions here are really focused around helping our law firms grow their business with less pain, because as you get bigger, you invest in marketing, then you have to get the work done. And sometimes that's very hard for them to scale those businesses.
Yeah, sure. And the ability to surge when you need to surge and scale back when you need to scale back, that flexibilities can be make or break for a lot of businesses when you're talking about margins that aren't as wide, to be competitive, aren't as wide as some people would always wish and hope.
Yeah. And it really depends on the practice area. And then what's kind of going on in the government. We do a lot of work with immigration law firms, and then all of a sudden there's case type A that just surged and they need help with it. Maybe they don't have a lot of experience in that area, so we can help them. And then when that dies down, that's okay. Sometimes it's as simple as they want to go on vacation, and it's like,
right, and they just need the coverage.
Yeah, they just need coverage. So,
sure.
So that stuff really works. And then for the ones that have grown a little bit more and they kind of understand their businesses a little bit better, the dedicated staff makes a lot of sense. So they'll have 4 or 5 intakes with us, paralegals, legal assistants, just doing different type of work.
There's a lot of value in consistency and experienced longer term staffing. Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also I think what happens is, as law firms, they don't go into business. Lawyers don't go into business thinking they're going to have a law firm. A lot of them go into business wanting to practice law.
Right.
And the easiest way for them to practice law is to have a law firm. But they didn't do a lot of thought when it came to how to bill, how to invoice, how to speak to clients, those kind of things. So that's where kind of our experience really helps, because we give them staff that has been trained, and we have anyone that we give you is someone that is being mentored and monitored internally by us. Mm-hmm. So we have subject matter experts in their field. So let's say, for instance, we're providing a paralegal that is in personal injury. We'll have a personal injury paralegal coach that's assigned to that rep. And instead of asking their client for help, they'll ask internally. So that avoids us having to interrupt the lawyer. We're also mentoring that person. And because we have so many other people that are doing the same thing, we kind of know what the quality and the quantity should be like. And so we're looking at those things, making sure that we're being effective, for that client.
Yeah, scale matters, and being able to reproduce training and outcomes
Yeah,
using a bigger set of resources is great. And like you said, it's true for a lot of professional services. These guys and women
yeah,
don't get into business with a mind to business operations
yeah,
and hiring and staffing and managing. That's a whole other set of skills that they need to find those subject matter experts to take care of for them. And a lot of times it's external influences like you.
yeah. No, for sure. And and we have a program that after a certain number of years, if they want to buy the contract out and they want to work with them directly, we can do that.
Sure.
So it's kind of a graduating type of thing. Um, I think also, people start doing one thing and then we realize that they're really good at something else. So maybe the work pivots and they refocus on an area they're better at. So we're always very mindful of making sure that we're doing the best that we can to that customer.
Yeah, and that temp to perm flexibility is great for your staffers as well. Sure.
Yeah,
And pivoting and changing career fields and paths and everything else.
sure.
It's good flexibility for everybody.
And then this stuff that we've been talking about now is the dedicated staffing for the outsourcing on the legal work. And right now we're doing that only on immigration law. We think by Q2, end of Q2 of this year, we'll be doing PI as well. It's very inexpensive. Most case matters are $550 end to end. So, you can think of us as a wholesale law firm doing that work. All we need is the name, the type of case they want us to do, and they have full visibility of all the work that we're doing, who's doing the work. We've broken down, just to give you an idea, an asylum case might have 75 steps. So those 75 steps are done by different groups. So it works very much like an assembly line, always maintaining good contact with the end user, which is one of the things that a lot of law firms suffer with because, they want to work 9 to 5, but the client, they have to go to work too. Like the end user client has a job and they have responsibilities and they're not available 9 to 5. They're available in the afternoons and at night, which causes the lawyer having to sit, work late nights, talking to their customers, retrieving documents, filling out forms. Those are the kind of things that we want to do in their behalf. We want to, because we have people that speak multiple languages. They're supposed to be working that shifts. They're coming in bright and early, ready to go. Their shift starts at 6 in the afternoon,
right?
And so it's perfect. And you get the work done faster too because you ask for something in the morning and then you don't get it in the afternoon. Like
and then you can't do anything until the next day. Yeah. You're extending the period to get any step done. Sure. Almost unnecessarily when you could apply those resources better, more efficiently.
So yeah,
sure. And like you said, that linguistic support, that language support is something that's essential in a lot of areas of law, and it can be difficult in a 5 or 10 person practice to be able to support every language and every background of client that comes into your office.
Sure, and culturally, obviously we have reps that speak Mandarin. We have reps that speak Turkish, depending on the area and kind of business that each lawyer is in. But primarily, the second largest language spoken in the United States and Canada is Spanish. And when you think about, it's not just the language, but it's also the culture.
Yep.
So if you said to me, "Hey, Demetrio, can you have this document for me by tomorrow?" I'll say yes, even if I can't have it to you by tomorrow. It's just culturally, it feels offensive, or it feels like maybe I'm not, I don't want to go
adversarial.
Yeah. So I say yes and okay to things that are probably not okay. And well, when you're dealing with the same culture, it's kind of easier to kind of see that through and say, figure it out. What is the right process to get those?
Sure. Culturally sensitive approaches and sure. the right ways to insist and push and respond. Exactly. Sure.
So go ahead, please.
What about from the business's side? I mean, we're talking about the opportunity for expansion, the opportunity for global talent integration.
Yeah,
How do you keep, how do you, as the staffing provider, help businesses figure out how to grow without being overwhelmed?
absolutely. So it goes down to the when we first sit down with a client, with a potential client, we try to be very exact about the tasks that you want this person to do. And a lot of times they know they need help, but they don't know what they need help with. A lot of times they think that the kind of help they need um, is not the one that is going to be best for them. So I'll give you kind of an example. We'll talk to a lawyer, and most likely they'll say, I need another paralegal. And I want someone to do legal work. And because the role in their mind is defined differently than some other lawyer might define it. So the way that we see it, we have broken down tasks into 4 areas. So there's tasks that are people facing, people that are good talking to other people, like you are. Like if we took your microphone away, you would wither and die. Like you need to talk to people every day. A lot of technical focused individuals, like software engineers, like lawyers, they don't love talking to people every day. So why put a paralegal to do that kind of work? Put someone that is going to have the best type of interaction, have the right amount of empathy, uh, or even assertiveness to try to get what you need out of that person. So we define these tasks into these different. So that's one area, people facing. The other area is administrators. So people that are really detail oriented, people that will make sure that the dots, that the
Dots
I's
and
are dots.
crosses. Yeah.
Yeah, like so, and when you think about law, that these things are very, very important because you can win or lose a case on something simply as like missing a date.
Right.
And
Or
so
improper word usage and improper
yeah,
phrasing. Yeah.
so these are very important things, and depending on the kind of role you're going to do, and we understand that sometimes they'll do multiple areas, but we need to find someone that's really detail oriented for this person, or we don't, and nothing is free, right? It's hard to find someone that's really good at everything, so we try to get as close of a match as we can. The third area has to do basically with the legal work, with the technical legal work. And for those areas, and for all of these items, we have training. So there might be 7 trainings for intake. There might be 4 trainings for reception. Um, if you pick personal injury, there are trainings that are specific to that area practice of law, or for family law, probate, etc. So we want to have that person come in with enough knowledge and then get supported by our internal staff so that the law firm owner can concentrate on what's important for them and let us
Pre-qualified staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, great. So, speaking of your staffing, so Stafy is known as a selective hiring process. You're not trying to fill. It's not filling seats on a plane. It's
Yeah.
getting the right people in the right fit with the right clients.
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit more about your vetting and training pipeline
sure.
for behind the scenes.
So we probably start the beginning of the month with around 1,500 applications. So on a given month, we'll have around 1,500 applicants. We go through those applicants. We probably interview 150 of them, and then the ones that we like continue through the process, and then they take some assessments, psychological, how good are they taking feedback, how good are they following directions, being proactive. And some of them are pass or fail, but some of them are just kind of help categorize that person, because you might value someone who will take initiative, but there might be another client who might value someone that will follow instructions carefully. And depending on that role, that is really the right thing to ask for. So we start categorizing these people, and then we kind of come up with around 40 or 50 that we like, and so we hire those. Some of them will be placed during that month. Some of them will continue doing more training, and we'll kind of sit in the bench as we find spots for them. We don't want to let good people go, so sometimes we don't have that position. There might be someone that's like someone with estate planning in the state of New York who has an incredible resume. We really love him, but we don't have an opportunity. We'll hire him, and we'll keep him for as long as we need, because we know that that person's going to get placed and they're going to be loved in whatever firm they go to. After that happens, they then take tests. These tests are composed of the different tasks and then some mandatory stuff that we want them to do. This whole process takes around 2 weeks. They have to obviously score well. All the courses have tests associated to them. We're looking for 79 and above. We give them opportunities to take the test again if they didn't do well in some cases. And then we sit down with them, understand what they want from a position, like what are they looking for, short and long term, and then start doing interviews and get them placed. But
sounds good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think though, because I think there are companies that are doing some work on the vetting side. I think that what really makes us unique is the work that we do afterwards. This ability to have someone that they can reach out to and ask for help in their area. We also have psychologists inside, so that if they're having a sort of trouble at home or anything else, that they have someone to talk to. So
support network.
Yeah, support network, because some of the smaller law firms and even some of the large ones, I mean, how big do you have to be to have an in-house psychologist,
Right.
So we're big enough. We've scaled as a company that we can afford to kind of bring that support to them, and that allows for the people that are being presented and working with our clients to have a bigger network than just the particular law firm.
Their staff, their coworkers and staff. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we're talking about expansion and remote operations and everything. What about virtualization? There's a big push to throwing a widget on every website to have a chat with somebody at the office and everything else. How do you see virtualization either in the firm's businesses or your business going forward?
Oh, we're for it, to be honest with you. For us, it's all about making the client more efficient. We do it through staff, but there's lots of times where we'll have conversations with our clients where what they need is not more staff. What they need, it's actually the opposite. They're having to hire more staff because they're not efficient enough. We're very open. We come from an operational background. I ran large teams, and you can't just do it with people. Your processes have to be right. It's like now everyone tries to add AI, but adding AI to a process that's broken doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
So they all have to work in conjunction. And process by itself, AI by itself, people by itself, none of it's going to work. You need all of it.
Computer guys of a certain age remember garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting when you look at how law firms work, because their business model, their operations model, is more like a workshop rather than a factory and an assembly line. And so they build these pods where you have like 3 people that all do everything. And Aston Martin used to make cars like that, but they weren't very reliable. They're very pretty, but they're not very reliable. And you have to work the assembly line process, and you have to get people that are really good at the particular task. That's how you avoid mistakes,
Right.
So
yeah, if you have the craftsman artisan model, the same person is going to make the exact same product every time, and they could be duplicating errors. Whereas if you have the assembly line model where everybody masters a step in the process,
exactly.
If they have true mastery, then the entire process becomes more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's when you can insert AI to become more efficient. In that first model, it's harder, and it's nothing that can't be done. And we have some, great clients. They have great revenue, great margins, but they still work that kind of workshop model, and you see kind of mistakes repeating themselves, and you're like, oh man, I wish they weren't like that. So We use partners to recommend to them to redo their operational build out. We'll show them. We'll kind of make the assessment to let them know what we think. Also, because we see some that are incredible, and so it just gives us, being in the position that we are, working with so many law firms, all kind of in different parts of their life cycle in these practice areas. You start finding patterns that are really interesting.
So you see a lot of, shall we say, type A personalities, and you're talking to them about delegation,
Yeah,
and that's what they're there to talk to you about. But some of
yeah,
them are going to have a harder time than others with biting into that pie and taking advantage of that. How
yeah,
do you talk to somebody who's hesitant or resistant to delegation about the value of letting go of a piece and
yeah.
assigning it to somebody else?
Well, let me first say that I recognize the very difficult position they're in. If you think about what you do for a living, or for I do for a living, if you did a horrible thing, you could get fired, right? That's the worst thing that could happen to you. But no one would ever say, okay, that's it. No more marketing for you. No more podcasting for you. You're done. They have a license that
They've got a lot at stake.
they
Yeah.
got a lot at stake. And so um, they have to be a little bit more careful than you and I in many things. And of course, now that we support law firms, we also have to be more careful than we normally would. With technology and software development, you can kind of be a little bit more loosey goosey, but when you're talking about people's lives and the law, you can't. So let's start by understanding that that's complex. I think the first thing to do is to acknowledge to them that no one's going to do it as well as you are. Like, no one's going to be as perfect, and that's okay. But it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be, for the most part, 89% is good enough. You don't need that level of perfection. And if you worry about that all the time, you're not going to get the production at the level that it needs to be. It's everything we do is quality and quantity, no matter what work we're in. So one sacrifices the other one a little bit, right? A lot of quality, most likely your quantity is going to go down. So you got to figure out what's your right measure, um, and not worry about perfection. Just there are some cases, of course, heart surgery has to go perfect, and
Right.
and certain things in the law have to be perfect, but most of it doesn't. That's the reality.
Sure. So, in general categories, what are the top 2 or 3 things you think small firm or solo practice attorneys are doing for themselves that they really should let either hiring agencies or third-party providers take care of for them?
I think, and not just. I don't know so much for let us do it, or a third party, but I think you have to recognize the personnel that you have and what they're good at. I think that when we work with someone that we trust and we have a lot of faith in them, we sometimes put them to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So I see a lot of office managers working at law firms that are highly trusted by the owners, but they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. So
Outside of their skill set.
yeah, it's just outside of their skill set. They were never trained for it. So I think it's really understanding what different people are good at.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
And so if you can find it internally, that's perfectly fine. If you can let us do it, then we're happy to help. But
Yeah. And you can grow expertise internally too, but that's an investment and a time commitment and a growing pain
sure,
too.
yeah,
Whether it's poor customer service or missed billings or whatever else, there's going to be that pain to scale up internally.
I think there's something also that's happening, and it's more of a generational thing. I'm a very proud Generation X. A lot of grit, do whatever it takes. You got to clean the toilets, you do whatever it takes. Where today, people are a lot more. It's funny, when I was younger and you would interview someone, you would negotiate salary. now you negotiate vacation days, it's
Right.
like, so it's like a very different mentality, and some of the owners, and they're still thinking in that way, and this things have changed, whether we like it or not, things have changed, and we need to understand that dynamic, because their expectations are different.
The workforce that's present, not the workforce that was present when you learned what a workforce was.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And so that's also kind of part of what we do indirectly, because we supply that kind of environment for the staff, if the law firm doesn't know how to. But I can tell you that the ones that do know how to do it get the most out of their people, whether they're from us or internal. So we try to push for that, because you're gonna do a little extra work for someone you like. You're gonna do a little bit of extra work for someone that asks you how your day was or how your weekend was.
Yeah. That human touch.
Human touch, yeah. That I don't care for, but
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Demetrio, thanks so much for joining us. If somebody wants to get in touch with you or stay up to date on what you're working on, or get in touch with Stafy, how can they reach out to you?
So very easy to find us on the internet, stafy.cc. You can learn all about us there, and we'll obviously have pages on Instagram and everywhere else. But come see us there, and we can have a chat. And even if you're not thinking of hiring someone now, it's a nice kind of 30-minute talk to figure out who your next hire is going to be. We'll send you all that information, and you'll have it, and you'll have your own dashboard to play around with, and you can decide when is the right time.
Sure. Any upcoming conferences or booths coming up? I mean,
Well,
other than right now.
Yeah, right now we're at Tiger. We have another one that I was just told today that I have to go to, so I'm not sure I remember what name it is. But we're at Law Tiger, and it's been really good. Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. Thanks so much. And Stafy is STAFI.
.cc. That's correct.
.cc. Okay. Terrific. Thanks so much, Demetrio. I really appreciate the conversation. It was wonderful. Everybody, thanks for joining us. This is Partnerships for Profit. It's a podcast by Leduc Entertainment, and I'm your host, Peter Conrad. Thanks so much, and have a great day.
Take care, Peter. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.